welcome to part 2 of this video project where we're turning Google Sheets into a kind of classroom Twitter tool. So we've already gotten our Twitter library imported and we've gotten our keys and access tokens all set up. What we got to do is now put some JavaScript and a little bit of styling into our sidebar to get the whole thing set up. I'm going to just right off the bat, I'm going to have this h1 tag with tweets, and then I'm going to put an unordered list with an ID of tweets onto the page. That's simply. Now I'm going to publish test as add-on and installed and enabled with latest code, selecting the document with our tweets in it, right? What the form's feeding into, that's what we're using. So let's go ahead and get that loaded with just, nothing. It's not going to be doing much right now. But, as soon as everything loads up here, we've got our classroom Twitter demonstration. Open the sidebar. And we see that tweets header tag, right? But no tweets are there. This is where our JavaScript comes into play. And we can just go over to our JavaScript HTML. And let's code out some JavaScript. We're going to actually need two functions to get us started. We're going to actually get the tweets, and then we're going to select tweet. Because once we have those tweets out there, we want to be able to click on them and tweet them to our account so that we have some control over what's coming out of our Twitter account, right? And then finally, we're going to actually put a window window.onload, and we're going to just run tweets when the window loads. Now, you might notice I'm using just kind of plain JavaScript here, not jQuery or anything like that, any of those cool libraries. And it's just because it's recommended in the documentation to not use jQuery in add-ons. Just probably too slow, I'm guessing. Google Apps Script is already pretty slow, so no need to bog it down with jQuery. And really, jQuery is only really great for cross-browser stuff, right? If you want to make sure that it works on older versions of Internet Explorer and Safari and Firefox, and everything works everywhere. And that's what jQuery is really great for. And if you're using Google add-ons in an old version of Internet Explorer, you need to reevaluate some of your tech choices. So let's code this out now. We need to actually get the tweets, put them on the page. So let's do that with google.script.run. And we're going to run just a get tweets method. And in that chain, we need a with success handler, and that's going to take the response, and we're going to do something with the response. You can also add a failure handler in there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. For this tool, we aren't going to use that. So then I want to get that element that I created, that unordered list, and I'm going to use document.get element by ID, and boom, save that into the variable tweetcell. And let's clear it out first. It should already be empty, but maybe we want to later do some things with it, but we want to make sure that it's empty so we're not duplicating all of these things. And then we're going to loop through the response. And actually, I use response all the time, but they're actually tweets, and let's make everything clear. So tweets for each function. Sorry guys, I cannot type. Function. And then each tweet that's in this tweets array, we're going to put it into our tweetcell. Tweetcell. That's I am amused by simple things. So then we're gonna add that to the inner HTML, and we're gonna do it's gonna be an li tag plus the tweet plus a closing li tag, and then close that out. Okay, that should be good. Oh, sorry, we're not going to just set it equal to it. Since we're looping through with this for each loop, and then it's taking each element from the tweets array, we need to actually plus equals. We want to take what's in the inner HTML and add to it. Otherwise, we're just going to end up with the last element. So we've got that written. That should be working perfectly. But we don't have a get tweets function written on this side here. So let's just come to the bottom of our code.js, and we'll just call this get tweets. And this should be pretty simple. Let me space down so I've got some room to work here. It's a pretty simple one. We need to actually get the values from the sheet. So we're going to call spreadsheet app get active sheet, and we're going to get the data range, and then we're going to get values from the sheet. Perfect. And that'll become our values. Now, that also is going to include this first row. An easy way to just remove that is just shift it off. Shift is a method. It takes the very the zero element, the zero index from an array, shifts it off. So then shifts it off. Just that simple. Now we're going to actually declare a tweets variable, and we're going to take those valuables. I'm sorry. I think I'm low on coffee here. I'm low on caffeine, or just having a stroke. We're not taking valuables. We're taking the values, and we are going to map. Map is an array method that is going to kind of basically just restructure the array that we have. It's going to take each row, so we'll just call it row. It's going to take each row, and we are going to return basically a string that's going to be the first index plus, let's just say says, and then we're going to add row index 2. Row index 1 and row index 2. That should correspond to this and then this. And we're going to add the word says in the middle. And then from this, we're going to actually return this tweets array, because it's going to then pop back over to our JavaScript and become right here, become available as tweets, and we're going to pump it into the unordered list. So let's go ahead and refresh that sidebar, reopen it, and we should have some tweets. Hopefully. There we go. We have some tweets. Okay, but they don't do anything. All they do is just shows us what's over here. Well, we need to actually be able to select one, and then we want to send it off. Send it off to our actual Twitter account, so we've got something showing up here. So let me come over to my styles. I'm actually going to add a style. We're going to call it, it's going to be an li active, and let's make that, let's change the background color to light blue, and let's change the text color to white. And actually I want to change the unordered list. Let's call this list style none. Let's take away those little bullet points. Okay, that's fine. Li active. Now we also need to, when you select a tweet, that's what our function for is here. We've got to actually put that active on there. So let's do that. We want to basically just, let's put in E into select tweet there, and we're in our li tag, we're going to actually add an on click, and we're going to call it select tweet, and we're going to pass the event in, and then in here we're going to say e.target. dot class name equals active. And that should accomplish what we're trying to do here. Let's close this and refresh and see what we're working with. Boom. Now, the problem that we're going to have is that we can't get rid of it. Okay? So we want to be able to select one at a time. Let's remove all active tags every time we click it before we do that. So let's do, let's declare variable actives, and we're going to do document.query selector all, and we're going to get all the active tags. Then we need to loop through them, and I is less than actives.length. That works. Increment that I up, and then let's actives with the incrementer of I, with that index I, and then we'll set the class name to just an empty string. And then once you've done that, once you've looped through all those, removed all the actives, then we can add the class name active. That should fix our problem there. Perfect. And I'm going to do one thing before I end this video. I'm going to go back into styles. I don't like this light blue. I'm just going to just call them just blue. You can get super fancy with your CSS. You can do some hovering and some transitions. You can get real cool with it. But I'm not going to do that in this video. I am going to add one more thing, and I'm going to actually, you'll notice there's like a bunch of padding here. And like if I were to, let's look at this UL, and we've got this padding on the left. I'm going to remove that too. So we're going to end this padding. Let's just say padding left, and we'll make that 0. All right, in the next video, we're going to actually figure out how to turn these tweets from just showing up on the sidebar into showing up on our Twitter account. So stay tuned for part 3.